The international break is finally over and the Premier League is back this weekend. So today we're breaking down the big talking points into the return of the Premier League, which teams need a reset, and of course, the fixtures you need to be watching. Quick recap, big preview, let's get into it. But just quickly, if you like Premier League action, be sure to hit the subscribe button and drop a like as it helps for engagement and helps me reach other people that love football just like you. Now before the break, we had some really interesting patterns emerging in the league. Some teams like Manchester City went into the break absolutely on fire, whereas Arsenal, who hadn't conceded in over 800 minutes of action, not only conceded twice, but dropped points against Sunderland away, drawing 2-2. And reigning champions Liverpool were in a mixed bag of form. Now other teams definitely needed the break. Teams like Newcastle and Spurs have been inconsistent throughout the entirety of the season, and this break might be the reset they need. Teams like Manchester United and Aston Villa have definitely gained some momentum, but are still struggling to make a consistent impact in the league to get points and climb up positions. But the international break also played its part. Key starters for big hitters clocked up big minutes for their country during the break. A couple players got injured, a couple knocks here and there, but we all know it's all about that post-international break performance. Those who are the freshest and those who are suffering from fatigue. But the question right now is simple. Who has returned sharpest and who is still looking a bit rusty? Now that's usually the story of the first weekend back after a long international break. And now onto the exciting bit. Matches you cannot miss. First up, Newcastle hosted Manchester City. Now this for me is a joint headliner for the entire weekend of Premier League action. Now in the past, City have dominated this fixture. They've won well over 75% of the last 30 meetings in the Premier League between Newcastle and City. Now before the break, City were on fire. Wait, actually no. Haaland was on fire. And just before the break, they absolutely swept away title rivals Liverpool, winning 3-0 at the Etihad. And a certain Jeremy Doku was on fire. Newcastle's form was a bit up and down, but at home, they were strong. Now again, after any international break, the key for winning is tempo. And City usually hit the ground running straight after international breaks. I think Newcastle will make this game competitive. However, I do hedge my bets on Manchester City coming away victorious. It might be a tight one. Anthony Gordon might finally pick up some form, but Haaland is on a crazy run of form right now, scoring in damn near every single game he plays. The guy's a freak. I'm predicting a 3-1 Manchester City win. Next up, the North London derby. It's a North London derby, but the first game after an international break always adds a bit of uncertainty into the mix. Now, Arsenal typically start kind of strongly after an international break. However, historically speaking, November is the worst month for Arsenal in history. November is where they drop the most amount of points, and it's a season-on-season trend where when it gets to this November period, up to Christmas, Arsenal start to look a bit lost. Now with Spurs under Thomas Frank, away from home, they've actually been very, very strong. It's actually at home where all the problems have been happening. But the North London derby, it's all about who wants it more. With Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiori picking up injuries for Arsenal over the international break, this is going to definitely come down to grit. It's going to come down to squad depth. And honestly, who is sharper after this international break? Now, me personally, I think this game is going to be won in midfield. The battle of the midfields. Can the likes of Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Eze, Odegaard, if he's back, can they match up with the physicality of Pat Matasar, Palhinha, Bentancur? Who knows? With Arsenal being at home, they are the favourites. But with derbies, anything can happen. Logic goes out the window. The bookies' favourites goes out the window. Anything can happen. But as for me, I will be supporting the Gunners. I will go for a 3-1 Arsenal victory. Next, Leeds versus Aston Villa. Now this is a game that both teams must win. Villa have the structure and the cohesion in the team. Leeds have the energy and the promotional fight. This game could be fun. Now, Leeds' problem all season long is not necessarily that they've been the newest promoted team and that's the reason why they're so weak. They actually have been creating quite a few chances, but the players just don't seem to be good enough to put these chances away. Whereas with Aston Villa, they've actually had a bit more of a balanced attack and a balanced team since the start of September. Both managers will benefit massively from having the extra prep time. And again, with the likes of Aston Villa and Leeds, their players have not necessarily gone away to have, the biggest amount of minutes on the international break, which means that their team could actually be quite sharp. Now, Leeds' relentless press against Villa's wide play could actually shape up for a very, very good fixture. I'm leaning towards Villa, but there's something about this fixture that tells me Leeds are going to put up a hell of a fight. And because of that, I actually think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go Leeds 2 and Aston Villa 2. Now guys, as I'm going along with these predictions and this preview, please make sure you comment down below, what do you think is going to happen this weekend? Is the North London derby going to go as planned? And of course, Newcastle, Manchester City, all of these fixtures, what is the biggest upset? And most importantly, what are your predictions? And then lastly, Manchester United versus Everton. Now, unlike previous months, Manchester United probably didn't want this break to come because they were on a good vein of form, the momentum was flowing, and it seemed like Ruben Amorim has got things clicking. Now, Everton, away from home, are always going to put up a fight. This can be a gritty game where Everton usually shine. But like I said, momentum is everything. International breaks disrupt this, and of course, the teams must be prepared. Everton's physicality in both boxes could be the key to them getting some joy in this fixture. However, the recent performances from Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in that midfield too has been nothing short of a revelation. I really think this is going to be a cagey game, and I'm going to lean just so slightly towards Manchester United, making it a 2-1 win at Old Trafford for the Red Devils. And here are some of the big storylines to watch this weekend. Number 1, freshness versus rust. Now, some clubs can absolutely light the games on fire straight after the international break, whereas others might need 15 to 20 minutes just to wake up and remember to play in Premier League football. Number 2, international fatigue. Key players not only returning late from the break, but also clocking up massive minutes for their nation. Some of them might be more tired than others, and some of the star performers in the league might look a bit slow. Number 3, managers using the break wisely. This is often where you see new patterns develop and maybe some tactical tweaks that could take the team from here to here. That's a lot. Number 4, momentum reset. Teams in the league that have been struggling for consistency might actually need this. This could be the break that sees them hit the reset button on the season and start to climb the table and gather points. And lastly, surprise packages. After every single international break, there's always one team that absolutely storms out the gate, whether it's a title favourite or maybe even the underdog. And for this, I'm pipping my hat to maybe Nottingham Forest. As a recap, here are my predictions. I think City breeze past Newcastle on the Tyneside. I think Arsenal will win the North London derby. Manchester United will have a very cagey affair at home to Everton, but will come away victorious. Leeds and Villa could be a goal festival that ends up in a draw. For the other fixtures, I think Chelsea breeze past Burnley away from home. I think West Ham actually stunned Bournemouth. Liverpool beat Forest. Brentford beat Brighton, and Sunderland suffered a defeat after a massive draw against Arsenal before the break. I think Wolves suffer yet another defeat at home this season. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know. Drop a like on this video as it will also help other people find the video and like it just like you did. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget, comment down below which fixture are you looking forward to the most this weekend. Now, I'll be posting some TikToks and reactions to some of the biggest games this weekend, so make sure you stay tuned. But until next time, guys, keep it real, and I'll see you when I see you in a bit.